point to Cam Newton starting for the Panthers this weekend against Washington after his 2-touchdown game in spot duty last week. Now, the former MVP will be facing off against his old coach, Ron Rivera, and will be looking to prove he can still be a consistent NFL starter after being out of the league for the entire first half of the year. So, Shannon, will Cam play well enough to be Carolina's starter going into next season?
Well, I think he's going to play well. Answer that first part of the question, they say, I believe Cam will play well. And if he plays well, I believe they make the playoffs. I believe they can get that 7th seed. If he leads the team to the playoffs, I believe they're going to want him back. The fans are going to want him back.
Yep.
You and I discussed when it happened. They should have never cut Cam because they didn't have a plan moving forward.
They did
It's
not.
like a person quits his job and he doesn't have another job lined up. Why the hell did you quit that job to begin with? Well, I'll find something. I think Matt Rule is finding out it's a lot more difficult to find a quarterback for the NFL than it is for college.
Yeah.
And so he's finding that out the hard way because, and I remember David Tepper with Cam can't stay healthy and, you know, we want to move on. And guess what? Had to hit a Huey and come right on back and pick Cam up where you dropped him off at.
That is correct.
So, Skip, I do believe Cam will play well. I believe he gets this team into the playoffs. He gets this team into the playoffs. I believe he comes back. They're going to want him back, and the fans will demand that he comes back.
I hope you are right. I would love to see it for Cam's sake and not for their sake, because I think it would hold their feet to the fire of what they just did.
Right.
Because it would throw them right back into a position of, whoops, we didn't want him and now we gotta keep him, right? And again, if they get to the playoffs, heaven forbid, if they win a playoff game, he is going to be the starting quarterback next year. Because to your point, the fans would just wreak havoc on this organization if it cut bait. But I believe the big picture plan is still in place. They want to go big game hunting after this season is over for Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun or Russell Wilson or whoever might come available.
Well, Skip, all bets are off now. One of those guys become available. You can land one of them.
Okay.
Or you do that.
All right. So I'm going to be pulling for Cam, and I think he's got a shot. It's not an easy shot, but I believe he'll be back in the saddle. It's a whole new offense, so it's a lot to ask of him, especially this time against that Washington front.
How about I do this, Skip?
Yep.
My game plan is going to be based on what Cam does really well. I understand that this is what I normally do, but what can I do to accentuate within my game plan what Cam does really well? Cam can run the football, so I'm going to probably call more design runs than I would for Sam Darnold or maybe P.J. Walker. What type of passes can Cam, in my system, can Cam accentuate really well? So that's what I do, Skip. I build a scheme within my game plan to make sure Cam is set up for success instead of failure. And C-Mac is back. Hopefully DJ Moore, he's hit Robbie Anderson. They got some nice pieces, Skip. I like the tight end Trimble. I like what they have.
As you always say, all passes and all runs aren't created equal.
Correct.
And when I watch Mac Jones, I can't even remember any of his completions because they don't have impact. Every time Cam makes a big throw or a big run, I remember it because it detonates the whole franchise. You can just feel the stadium lifted. So I'm looking for 2 or 3 of those that will be just enough for them to get over the hump, and then maybe they'll be off to the races, and Cam will make them eat their words here, and he'll be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, but I think that, Skip, I really do believe that they're in play for that 7th seed because there's that extra playoff game that came in effect last year, and you have an extra game this year. So I think they're very much in play. And if Cam plays, Cam should be fully healthy. Yeah. He should really be absolutely 1,000% motivated because it's just not about this year. It's about the year to come.
Right.
All right, moving on. How confident are Skip and Shannon about their picks for this weekend's Cowboys-Chiefs game? Stick around, that's next.
No mercy, no mercy.
Our 2.5-point favorites over the Cowboys this weekend on Fox. And while most eyes will be on Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott, rookie linebacker Micah Parsons is excited to get in on the action. When talking about facing off against former MVP Patrick Mahomes, Parsons said, quote, "This is a guy I like on Madden. So my first time playing him, I'm really excited to see what he does in person." So Shannon, how crucial is Parsons to winning this game?
He might be the most important player because the thing that happened last week is that Mahomes were able to get protected. He got protected. He stayed upright. He distributed the ball over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, no pick. Clean ball game. He's their best defensive player. He can single-handedly change the landscape of this ball game.
Yep.
He's faster than anybody that's on the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. So they're going to have their hands full. They're probably going to try to have the running back chip his way out, which means before you get into your pass route, you chip. You help find where number 11 is, and you chip him on your way out of the ball, out of the way of the backfield. So, yeah, he has the ability to wreck this game, to break this game open. So, for me, he's the guy that you focus in on if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Because if you can't block him, you can't beat him. And so I like what he said because I felt the same way. We played the Lions on Thanksgiving, my rookie year. And I had watched Barry Sanders. Man, let me see. He better in person than on TV. With Jerry Rice, the same thing.
Although you at least didn't have to tackle him.
No, I didn't have to tackle him. I was like, ooh. I'm like, I hope the Kevin didn't get me over here ooh in the arm because he's doing a number on our guy. So, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, you see someone, and like I said, I play him on Madden. He's seen Patrick Mahomes when he was in college. Now I'm on the field with him. Let me see how much of that he's going to be able to do on the field when I'm on the field against him. Because my job is to make sure none of that happens.
Okay, I want to reiterate that quote that Alex just read. Micah Parsons, rookie for the Dallas Cowboys, is basically saying, I'm excited to see him in person when you're actually going to be on the field against him. He acts like he's going to be sitting in the front row watching, right? No, you have to try to sack him, right?
Yes.
You have to try to disrupt his passing attack that is the most feared in all of football. And he's acting like he's going to actually walk into the video game and say, oh, this is cool, man. I'm actually in the game now, right?
Yeah, I want to see what he does in person.
I want to see. I was just like blown away by this quote. But this is one kid who constantly says things like this, and then he backs it up.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to play against Tom Brady. I want to see what it feels like to step on the same field with Tom Brady. And then he backed it up. And he just keeps backing up. He's led them in sacks, and I completely concur. He is crucial to the outcome of this game. I'm going to say it again. He has entered into the discussion and debate for Defensive Player of the Year, not Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, because my defense goes as he goes.
Yes.
And the first time I saw this was in Game 2 at Chargers, and I knew it was dicey after they lost to the GOAT by getting goated at the end of the game, but then they had to travel all the way to the West Coast and try to survive and get to 1-1 against Justin Herbert.
Right.
And it was hard. But guess who? Rose and Jones. Guess who made the play of the game at Justin Herbert? It was Micah. Remember the sack where he just drove him back and back and back and back? And the point is, he has disrupted just about everybody. He only disappears when Dan Quinn gets a little too cute, the new coordinator, and says, he's a linebacker, so I'm going to use him in pass coverage. I'll use him covering the back. No, you won't, because he just disappears. He gets lost in that. He can do it. He can be fine. He'll get burned like any rookie would. He got burned in Hard Knocks in camp. He got took, on a out and up.
By the back,
okay, I
got
get
over-aggressive.
that. Okay, so I don't love that part, and I wouldn't love him in that kind of coverage against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
But do I like him going after Patrick? Yes, I do. And what really opened my eyes was when our friend Lil Wayne told me that on his vacation tour, he chose to go to, remember, he went to games all over the country. He went to see his Red Sox against the Yankees. And he chose to go see my Dallas Cowboys. And he got no use for my Dallas Cowboys, only to see 11 from heaven, number 11. I just want to, and Wayne told me, I just want to see him in person. Like, it's another one. It's almost like Micah talking about Patrick Mahomes. Wayne's just like, I want to see him in person. And after that game, he was so taken, he went to the Monday night Philly game at Dallas, Jerry World. He got Micah's jersey, and he got Micah to sign it for him. And then Wayne told me he didn't just hang it in his man cave like he would other jerseys. He put it in the living room. Put in the living room? He's just a kid now from Penn State. Didn't even play last year.
If you look at him, Skip, he does a lot of cross face. So he because he's so quick, you open up to try to beat him, keep him from beating you right there.
Finish up on Lil Wayne. Don't change the subject. What does that say to you? He put it up in the living room.
I'm surprised that Lil Wayne would do this, considering that he's a Packers fan.
He hates the Cowboys.
And he has no use for the Cowboys.
I mean, seriously despises the Dallas Cowboys.
But sometimes, Skip, you might have a dislike for a team, but the player is so polarizing and so captivating that it supersedes your dislike of the team.
Trust me, Wayne is a savant on sports, and he sees things coming before they come.
Right.
And he saw Micah. You saw him before the draft. You thought he was the best defensive player in the draft.
I did.
I got stuck on Patrick Surtain on need. I needed a bookend corner for Trevon Diggs. Why not the one from Alabama? Why not the one whose father was a pro?